Hello and welcome to my lovely silicone video. In this video you'll see me applying black silicone around a bathtop. I'm going to try and explain to you the process, as I did upload a video very similar to this a couple of weeks ago. It was me sealing around a bathtop, but there was some taps and the caption for the video was how to seal behind bath taps. Unfortunately this bath doesn't have any taps. Well, not unfortunately, I was very pleased to see that it didn't have any taps. But I'm going to show you how to cut the nozzle, like what I'm doing now. I always cut my nozzle on a very slight angle. It's almost flat, like that. And I always like to put a bend in the nozzle as well. At the beginning of a bead, I always recommend that you start from the internal corner, like this, and squeeze the trigger and pull towards the middle. You'll notice that I always stop on a grout line. I wouldn't recommend allowing the trigger to run out of squeeze. If you lose your grip on the trigger halfway through a tile, it's going to be very difficult to dress the sealant afterwards to get it looking neat. So it's always easier to stop on a grout line. I also recommend to clean the nozzle every time you stop a bead. Before you start doing a new bead, clean the little excess off the tip. And I like to dump mine in the bottom of the tube, as you just saw. Obviously you clean out the tube before you take the plunger out, otherwise it will go all over the stem. On every squeeze, on every grout line, I'm re-squeezing the trigger, I'm re-gripping. Notice how when I'm pulling a nice bead, I'm moving my body with the gun. I'm not moving my arm. I'm not changing the angle of my arm. I'm moving my body along. That allows you to get a nice, consistent bead. Now the reason why I was doing this job was because one of the tiles had fallen off of the window reveal and it actually damaged the bath. So the tiler had to pay to replace the bath and the tiles. The customer was very happy after it was all finished, because it's all about how you correct your mistakes, and I think that's really important when it comes to any sort of line of work. So I'm just finishing off this internal corner. See that? I've got a nice consistent bead coming out, so I'm now I'm actually squatting. I'm moving my body with the gun. The gun stays in the same position. Obviously you need to practice the gun control and the consistency of the sealant that you're using. All the consistencies change with different products. So I'm about to start dressing the sealant with the sticks. This is how I do it. There's other ways to do it. You can scrape off the excess with the little Kramer tools that you can get. This is how I do it. With this method, you're compressing the sealant and you're just dressing the sealant, making it a nice consistent bead. This is the solution that I use. It's just an old Febreze bottle. Febreze bottles are the ones, by the way, if you want to get one. I'll just fill it with water. I'm just emptying what I had already had in there just to show you how much fairy liquid to put in there. Fill it right to the top. I'll zoom in a little bit here so that you can see exactly how much soap to put in there. I'd say that's probably a 1 second squeeze. If you use too much soap, it really messes with the silicone. There's a lot of people out there that would say not to use soap and to use a proper tooling spray, which are like alcohol based. But I've been using fairy liquid and water for about 10 years now, and I very, very rarely get any issues. The only time you really get any problems with sealant is if there's movement. And that brings up a question: why have I not filled the bath? I work for a lot of bathroom fitters, and the people that I work for, I trust I trust that this bath has been fitted securely. Therefore, I don't see the requirement to fill it with water. If you fill it with water, then you're basically counteracting the stretch of the sealant. So when you release the water after the silicone has cured, then the sealant decompresses. And then so when you fill the bath back up with water, it stretches back to its original position and it prevents it from peeling away. But if the bath has no movement, it doesn't matter how much water you put in it, it's not going to move. But you can fill the bath up if you want to. If you want to take your socks off, take your shoes off and get your shins all wet, then go for it. I've slowed the video right down here. It might be a little bit too slow, but I need time to explain. When you're using this stick, which is made from pine, by the way, I make these with a knife, a sharp blade on a knife, a Stanley knife or a utility blade. The tip of the stick should be very slightly smaller than the width of the bead, or exactly the width. But if you tried to do it exactly the width, then you might have some troubles. So when you're tooling in, you need to be using the outer edges, the surfaces. For this example, I'm using the bath top and the tile as a scribe. So you put the stick onto the say the bath top, for example, and then you slowly drag it on until you make contact with the bead, and you repeat the process with the top and bottom edge. With each stroke, you should overlap your last stroke. This is how you get a nice, neat, uniform bead with the stick. You don't ever put the stick directly onto the bead because the silicone will probably squeeze out of the edges and you'll get like a tram line either side. I really hope that helps me explaining it like that, but it really is all down to practice. You need to just practice. And by the way, I wouldn't recommend anyone who hasn't got much experience doing this attempting to use black silicone like I am. It's really difficult. So that's pretty much all the explaining that I can do, really. Like I said, it's all comes down to practice. If there's anything that you would like to learn or any questions that you have, just make a little comment. And if you enjoyed the video, obviously you did enjoy the video, because you wouldn't be here now listening to me. You would have carried on your little scroll of all the nonsense that's on YouTube and all the other apps. Yep, if you like the video, give it a like, give it a comment and subscribe to me, because I'm really close to achieving monetization on here. If I can achieve monetization on here, then I can do more videos, more tutorial videos. I've racked up quite a big following on Instagram, TikTok and Facebook. I've got about, if you put them all together, I've got about 700,000 followers. On YouTube, I'm on about 30,000 subscribers. I've got 2,000 watch hours on YouTube, and I need 4,000 watch hours on these types of videos. Once I get to 4,000, I will achieve monetization, meaning I will get a big fat pay rise for the year, because I'm already making the videos, I'm already posting them on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and now I can post them on YouTube and get paid on YouTube as well. I get paid for the videos on TikTok and Facebook already. So if I get monetization on here, then I'll basically get another third pay rise added on to my wages, which would just be fantastic. So all the help is very, very much appreciated from all you people watching. Thank you very much, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you.